You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy.
Hello my angels, it's Haley Breeze, and today's video is a video that I honestly believed that I would never share with you guys. Don't get me wrong, you guys are my family and I love sharing my experiences with you, but this one here is one that really scared me at the time. And I kind of got to see just how powerful the subject and the story that I'm about to share with you is and was. So for that reason and that reason alone, I was like, I'll probably never share that video on my channel, but for some reason, it's kind of stormy here in Toronto. It feels like a big thunderstorm is on its way, and I'm all cozy, literally in my PJs. So I thought, you know what? Talking to you guys is like sitting around a campfire and telling stories with my friends, my family. So tonight, I'm gonna share this story with you. I just wanna say something very quickly and briefly before I get into this video. I have so many ideas for this channel and I really wanna take it to the next level. I wanna travel, you know, places like Ireland and go where the fairies and the gnomes are, and places that are haunted, or places where conspiracy theories are taking place or have took place, and bring you guys along with me and just really up the overall quality of my content. Unfortunately, all of these things take a lot of money and I am completely and utterly self-funded, which is totally okay. But when I mentioned that I wanted to go to Ireland and check out the fairies and the gnomes and all of the historical, mythical creature sites, one of you suggested, why don't you open up a Patreon so that we can support you to go on these trips and to up the quality of your content? And at first I was like, I don't want to ever ask you guys for money, but then they said to me, you know what, it's not asking, it's throwing it out there, and if people decide, they decide. So I just want to let you guys know that I have decided to start a Patreon to just really take this channel to the next level and bump up not only the quality of my content, but just my content in general. So if you want to check that out, the link is in the description box, and if not, do not feel bad. I am completely fine, you guys. I just really wanted to take this to the next level, so if any of you do want to help support me on Patreon, you can go ahead, it's down below. But one last thing before I get into this story, I know you're probably like, Haley, stop talking. I just want to say, if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Haley. Me and my Reese's Pieces believe in the unbelievable, so if you too believe in the unbelievable, or you just like to hear about it, please go ahead, click the subscribe button, join our family. It would mean the world to us. Now let's get into this story time. I want to quickly say that if what I'm about to talk about is not something that you believe in, you absolutely have the right to not believe me and to not believe my story and to not believe in what I'm about to share with you. But with that being said, if you do not believe it, there is no need to throw hate. I don't throw hate at you for not believing. You don't have to throw hate at me or my Reese's Pieces for believing. So sit back, relax, maybe turn a light on, and let's get into this black magic paranormal story time. Black magic is just simply a definition of magic. Magic is magic. That's it, that's all. People are people. Now there are good people and there are bad people. There is good magic and there is bad magic. And the magic that I'm going to talk about today is black magic. Basically, the definition of black magic is the summoning of a demon or a negative energy to bring forth a demonic or a negative result. An example of this would be me trying to communicate with something of that sort to bring harm to somebody else or to bring forth a negative situation. Now, it might not always be for a negative result. You often hear about people selling their souls to the devil or selling their souls to spirits. There are a lot of people who actually do work where they give offerings of blood or hair, basically DNA, to a demon in return of what they want, and that is still black magic. Now, I can do a whole video on what exactly it is, the history of it, and how people modernly use it, or people use it in modern day. But today's video is about my personal experience with it. This story takes place in LA, and I hope that my mom is okay with me sharing it. I didn't even tell her that I was going to tell this story. It actually centers a little bit around her. If I'm looking down or to the side or around a lot, it's not that I'm lying, it's that things like this are a little bit uncomfortable for me to talk about sometimes, especially because I know what comes next in the story and I get a little bit anxious talking about it, so don't worry, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. So one day my mom is in Target in Los Angeles and I'm at home completely by myself, which is fine, and she's just browsing through the clothing section. Now a woman comes up to her and starts to say, "Oh my goodness, your daughter." Now my mom's completely alone. She has 2 daughters, me and Julia. So my mom looks at her and she's like, "I'm sorry?" She's like, "Your oldest daughter." And my mom's like, "Yes." And she says something about how I'm going to be extremely successful, how I'm into music and acting and entertaining, but that something is trying to stop me. So obviously this intrigues my mom, because how would this woman know me, know that I'm into music, acting, and entertaining, and come at her saying that I'm in some sort of trouble because something negative is trying to stop me? So my mom doesn't really say much more, but she does listen. And this woman basically goes on about all these things about me, things that a lot of people couldn't have known, and things about my future and this and that. But then she says that I kind of need to clear the energy around me, and my mom needs to clear the energy around her. So she gives my mom her card and says, like, "Why don't you come visit me sometime free of charge and I can help you," kind of be like a spiritual advisor, which my mom has a friend who's like that, but she's not like this woman, we'll later hear. And so my mom's like, okay. So she comes home and she tells me all about it, and for some reason I get a sinking feeling, which is very, very odd for me, because my mom has friends that like speak to their spirit guides and like are spiritual advisors. I've talked about her like really, really good friend who's actually a prominent figure in a lot of the stories that I've told, and I've never had any sort of like a negative feeling surrounding her. I've actually never really had a negative feeling surrounding anyone who talks to their spirit guides. So for me to automatically gut instinct have this sinking feeling, it was very, very uneasy. So my mom goes on and is like, "Haley, she knew all these things about you, and she says that you're gonna be so successful, but she says that there's a block and she needs to help you and this and that." So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go, but why don't you go? And my mom's like, okay, I'm just gonna go see what she has to say. It's free. And sorry, it's free. So she thought, but okay. And she's just gonna help me out and help you and just put positive energy out. Now, I believe in being able to clear energies and kind of clearing the space around people, so that didn't concern me. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but I just had, like I said, this very, very uneasy feeling. So my mom comes back, and I can't remember the object that the woman sent with her, but she sent something with her that was supposed to like help cleanse the house. I can't remember. It was just a positive thing. And everything's all good, and the woman's like, "I'll give you a call tomorrow." And basically like nothing different was said in this meeting. She just kind of said the same thing and said like things about me and my family that nobody would have known, and just how I was going to be very, very successful, but I needed my energy cleansed. The next day, this woman calls my mom and says, okay, I've come up with this plan for Haley to cleanse her energy. And it was like all these things that I needed. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it was like $1,000 for all of these cleansings and things that I needed. It was like a tea I had to drink and something I had to soak in the tub with and this and that. And just like basically a big giant scam. I'm not disregarding that there are things like that that work, because I know some things that work in senses like that. But this woman wanted over $1,000 to cleanse my energy. Side note, you guys, if a psychic or a spiritual advisor ever wants to charge you hundreds or even thousands of dollars for their service, run, because there's nothing that you aren't capable of doing your own self if it comes down to it. Yes, there are good people, but at the end of the day, $1,000 to cleanse my energy, it's a scam. So as much as it's a scam though, on one hand, she knew so many things, so I knew that this woman had some sort of a gift. My mom calls her and says, look, I'm sorry, we don't have the money to be forking out over $1,000 to cleanse the energy. You know, Haley's gonna focus harder on putting good energies out, putting positivity around her and trying to cleanse her own energy. Basically, in summary, she told this woman, thank you, but no thank you. I really appreciate it, but we're not interested. And this woman's whole demeanor changed. Your daughter needs me. If you want her to become successful, you need to do what I'm saying. The money is just like the cost because this is my job and I have to get by and blah, 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 blah. But she was very, very, very angry over this. So my mom tells her, thank you. You know, it was so nice to meet you, but we're not interested. Unfortunately, we're not going to be in contact any further, but I really appreciate, you know, you reaching out and coming up to me in Target and blah, blah, blah. My mom was so, so nice about it. It was like the nice way of saying, thank you, but no thank you. We are not interesting. Here's where we realized that this woman did have some sort of a gift, but that she had used some sort of black magic to send negativity my way. That night at around 3 a.m., my mom has to go pee. So my mom goes to go pee and the toilet seat's down, and this gives me nightmares now, and I'm so sorry if it does it to you guys too, but she doesn't turn the light on in the bathroom because she had like her TV on in her room, so it was illuminated enough. She sits down on the toilet, she starts to pee, and all of a sudden she feels like splashing underneath her. I feel like I'm gonna throw up when I think about this. This is so gross. She stands up and she looks down, and there is like a rat in the toilet. A rat in the toilet. She freaks. My mom is so scared of rodents, and she just sat down on a toilet and this rat was in it. Here's the weird thing. I understand that rats can climb up pipes, but we're gonna debunk that theory in a moment. The toilet seat is down. We had never had a rat problem where we were living in the hills. Really, we hadn't. I'd never seen mouse poo, never seen anything like that. We weren't living in downtown Toronto. We were living in the hills in Los Angeles. We weren't living in the middle of New York City. Like I said, in the hills in Los Angeles, and in my area, nobody had a rat problem. Also, we had never seen rats, or a rat, up until this day where my mom basically tells this woman, adios amigo. So my mom freaks out, and she has like this panic attack. Obviously at this point she's not thinking that it's part of the woman's thing. She's just freaking out. So the next day she calls an exterminator and they come to the house to like investigate to see if we have like a rat problem. After further investigation, these people come back to us and say, hey, we'd love to rid you of this rat problem, but there's no sign of any other rats, there's no sign of any rats in the vicinity, and you don't have any like the regular normal things that people whose houses have rats like that do. The next 3 nights in a row at 3 in the morning, my mom has to get up to go pee. And every time she goes to the bathroom, but now she doesn't sit, there's a rat waiting in the toilet. And every time she calls a new exterminator company, they don't find any traces of rats. Around this time, I start to have these really, really freaky demonic nightmares. I start to have these super scary like images and thoughts, and my mom starts to have them too. Here's where it gets so scary, you guys, okay? So this is around the time when my boyfriend was living in Miami. He was flying into LA to come see me, but he was getting in at around 12 o'clock. So he didn't get to my house till about 1 a.m. in an Uber. I'm sitting at the island in my kitchen, and my whole wall was like roof to floor windows. Part of it has doors, but like the whole wall was windows, so I can see outside. I'm literally sitting at the island and I'm working on like some things. I think I was writing a song. I don't even know. I was just writing. And all of a sudden, you guys, I see out the window. I honestly wish I was making this up. Like people who tell me like, oh, your stories are made up. I wish this was made up. Like this is so scary. I look out the door and all I see, this is like, okay, I swear over my grandpa's like spirit, and that is like the love of my life. Like this is what I saw. I would never lie in his name ever. I look out the door and I see these 2 black legs. No body, no head, nothing but 2 black legs walking towards my sliding door around the side of the house. Honestly, you guys, my first initial thought was that somebody was breaking in, until I realized that these legs were attached to nothing. They were just 2 legs and they were walking like towards my bedroom. I panic. My boyfriend's in the Uber at this time. I'm texting him. I'm like, I just saw black legs. And he already knew of all like the things that were happening with like the rats and the nightmares and things like that. So he gets there and I'm shook. I'm like shaking so much, like literally shook, like actually physically shook. And I'm terrified. I don't even know what to do. And at this point I realized that this woman is so upset that I didn't want to pay her the money, that she has put some sort of like black magic on us. You guys might think that I'm like lying or exaggerating, but in my opinion, things like that are too crazy to be coincidences. And it's too coincidental that the exact day that she got upset that we didn't want to pay her the money for her services, rats are showing up in the toilet for 3 nights in a row at 3 a.m. and I'm having the strangest, most terrifying nightmares. And all of a sudden I see these black legs walking on my like porch towards my room. So we do everything that we can to try to clear the energy. I buy holy water, I buy frankincense, I buy basically everything and anything you can think of in the most pure, natural, like angelic way to cleanse a house. And I still feel a little uneasy. So finally my mom decides I'm gonna call this woman and confront her on this situation. So she calls the woman and she's like, basically says, are you doing this to us? This is what's happened. And the woman denied it, but my mom said that her voice was very, very like sinister. She's like, what do you mean that's happening? Oh, I'm so sorry, you poor thing. Like, very sinister and cruel, and it wasn't empathetic or compassionate or concerned or just like a normal human being that would be like, what the heck do you mean you have rats in your toilet? So my mom says to her, what do you want to stop this? And she says, I want money. So my mom goes, okay, you know what? You basically gave me a free reading. I will send you $100 as a thank you for reading for us. And in return, you leave my family alone. All she says is, do you have a pen and paper to jot down my email? I'll accept email transfer. Mom emails this woman $100 and things seemed to get more back to normal after that. I believe that she put black magic onto us, but for what reason, I don't really understand. I mean, in one sense, obviously it had a lot to do with money. Like I said at the beginning, you guys, magic is like people. There are good people, there are bad people. There is good magic and there is bad magic. And I truly do believe that this woman had a gift, but I could bet my life on the fact that when it came to us and probably tons of other people, she was not using it for the greater good. Well, my angels, that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that it's a little bit controversial. I know that it's eerie. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that we were being paranoid, or do you think that it was the woman, or do you think that it was something else? I love to hear what you guys have to say. Honestly, I take what you guys say so seriously, and I love it, and you guys are so great about any opinions that you have. So please go ahead, talk it out in the comment section, be kind to one another, and that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video and you are not yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos and I don't want you to miss when I upload. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It makes my heart so happy when you guys do that, and it encourages me to keep on making these videos. So if you enjoyed it, thumbs it up. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.